Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin by saying this. Your morning coffee may be more powerful than you ever imagined. For many, coffee is a ritual, a comfort, and a source of energy to kickstart the day. But what if I told you that, with a simple addition, that same cup could help restore vitality, improve blood flow, and bring back the kind of confidence you had in your 20s? Today, we are not just talking about a beverage, we are talking about a daily opportunity to transform your sexual health, your urological wellness, and your overall quality of life. When we look at male sexual health, one of the most overlooked areas is circulation. Erections are not just about testosterone or desire, they are fundamentally about blood flow. Anything that strengthens vascular health directly strengthens sexual performance. Coffee already contains compounds that stimulate circulation and improve alertness. But when you pair it with specific natural ingredients, clinically shown to support nitric oxide production and artery flexibility, you create a synergistic effect that nourishes your body from the inside out. Think about it like this. Every sip of your enhanced morning coffee isn't just waking up your brain, it's waking up your entire system. It's gently improving endothelial function, lowering oxidative stress, and supporting the smooth muscle tissues that are essential for erectile strength. Instead of reaching for synthetic solutions that mask symptoms, you're feeding your body what it needs to work as it was designed to naturally and sustainably. Sexual health is not isolated from overall wellness. The same pathways that improve erections are the ones that protect your heart, sharpen your mind, and keep your energy steady throughout the day. When you commit to small, consistent habits, like enhancing your coffee with circulation, boosting nutrients, you're not just investing in better intimacy, you're investing in your long-term vitality, independence, and confidence. So here is my challenge to you. The next time you brew your morning coffee, don't just see it as fuel to get through the day. See it as a chance to reclaim your strength, your drive, and your health. Start making your daily cup work for you in ways you never imagined. Take ownership of your wellness, experiment with this powerful hack, and experience what it feels like to live energized, confident, and in control once again. Blood flow is the true engine of male sexual performance, and yet so many men underestimate just how central it is to every erection they experience. When arousal happens, the brain sends a signal that opens up the blood vessels leading into the penis, and at that moment, circulation becomes everything. If blood surges smoothly, fills the chambers, and is locked in place by strong veins, you achieve the kind of firmness that makes you feel youthful and powerful again. But if circulation is compromised, if arteries are clogged, stiff, or narrowed, then no matter how much desire or testosterone you have, the body simply cannot deliver the erection you want. This is why experts always say that sexual performance is a direct mirror of vascular health, and why attention to blood flow is the most intelligent step a man can take. As we age, small changes begin to occur in the vascular system. The lining of the arteries, called the endothelium, becomes less flexible, less responsive to signals of arousal, and more prone to plaque buildup. This means that the same process that raises the risk of heart disease is also quietly stealing away the strength of erections. Men in their 20s often don't think twice about blood flow because their arteries are naturally supple and wide open. But after 40, circulation becomes a fragile system that needs support. What you see in the bedroom is often the first visible sign of what's happening deep inside your blood vessels, making erectile issues an early warning signal that shouldn't be ignored. By prioritizing blood flow, you're not only protecting your sexual ability, but you're protecting your heart, brain, and energy levels as well. When you focus on improving circulation, you are feeding every cell in your body with oxygen and nutrients. Think of it this way: when the blood moves efficiently, your muscles recover faster, your brain stays sharper, and your sexual response becomes stronger and more reliable. Erections require a sudden, rapid surge of blood volume into a small area, and if that surge is weak or inconsistent, performance collapses quickly. On the other hand, when circulation is robust, that surge is powerful, filling the penile tissue completely, producing the kind of hardness that makes intimacy more satisfying for both you and your partner. This is why many therapies and natural practices for men's health target vascular pathways. They know that fixing blood flow is the master key to restoring performance. Daily lifestyle choices either support or sabotage this process. Diets loaded with processed foods, sugars, and excessive alcohol stiffen blood vessels and damage the endothelium, while a nutrient-rich diet filled with leafy greens, antioxidants, and circulation boosters like beets and pomegranate juice keep arteries flexible. Even simple things like hydration, regular walking, and avoiding prolonged sitting enhance vascular function. Men who understand that their erections are essentially blood flow events begin to look at their daily choices differently, because they realize that every meal, every habit, every drink is either building stronger circulation or making it weaker. By shifting the focus from just hormones or desire to the mechanics of blood flow, men put themselves back in control of their performance and their vitality. Coffee by itself has long been celebrated as a stimulant that boosts energy, sharpens focus, and helps wake up the body. But when it comes to sexual performance, relying on coffee alone often falls short. Yes, caffeine increases alertness and causes a temporary rise in circulation, but that effect is fleeting and not targeted enough to make a significant difference for erections. This is why pairing coffee with the right natural partners transforms it from a simple morning beverage into a powerful performance ritual. Certain additions can amplify blood flow, enhance nitric oxide production, and support the vascular flexibility that erections depend on. When combined correctly, coffee becomes more than just a wake-up call. It becomes a daily tool to reclaim youthful sexual energy. One of the most effective partners for coffee is L-arginine, an amino acid that the body converts into nitric oxide, the very molecule responsible for dilating blood vessels and allowing for strong erections. When coffee's stimulating effect increases circulation slightly, and L-arginine is present to open those vessels wider, the synergy creates a deeper and longer-lasting response in the sexual organs. Another natural partner is beetroot extract, which is loaded with dietary nitrates that also boost nitric oxide. Adding beet powder to coffee doesn't just change its flavor profile, it fortifies your vascular system and ensures more efficient delivery of blood to the tissues that matter most. This combination creates a ripple effect, turning a standard morning drink into a daily therapeutic ritual for men's health. For those who crave something richer, raw cacao powder is another remarkable addition. Beyond its deep flavor, cacao contains flavonoids that protect the lining of blood vessels, reduce oxidative stress, and further enhance blood flow. Combined with coffee's caffeine and natural stimulants, cacao adds a heart-healthy circulation, boosting element that directly benefits erections. It's not about gimmicks or exotic solutions. It's about working with natural science-backed ingredients that have been shown to improve vascular performance. Even cinnamon, often added for flavor, improves insulin sensitivity and circulation, proving that small tweaks can make a big difference. Coffee becomes a base, a foundation, and the real magic happens when these partners are introduced strategically. This partnership is powerful because it addresses more than just energy. Erections demand rapid, reliable blood flow, and for that to happen, the body needs open arteries, strong nitric oxide signaling, and reduced oxidative stress. Coffee by itself nudges the system, but when paired with vasodilators, antioxidants, and nutrient-dense compounds, it provides a multi-layered support system that benefits both immediate performance and long-term vascular health. Men who begin experimenting with these combinations often notice subtle improvements first: better morning erections, more stamina, and a sense of confidence that builds day after day. Over time, the benefits accumulate, and what was once just a cup of coffee becomes a cornerstone habit for sexual vitality. This is the difference between drinking coffee for a buzz and drinking coffee for real, lasting performance. Nitric oxide is often called the silent hero of male sexual health because it is the molecule that makes erections physically possible. When a man becomes aroused, the nervous system signals blood vessels in the penis to relax and expand, and this expansion is powered directly by nitric oxide. Without enough of it, blood cannot surge into the erectile chambers with the speed or pressure required for firmness, and performance inevitably suffers. Younger men produce nitric oxide effortlessly, which is why their erections often feel automatic and powerful. But as men age, nitric oxide production naturally declines, leaving many to wonder why their desire is still present, yet their body fails to respond the way it used to. Understanding this decline is essential because it reveals that the problem is not a lack of masculinity, it's a lack of nitric oxide. The body makes nitric oxide from amino acids like L-arginine and L-citrulline, but as endothelial cells in the arteries age, their ability to generate this molecule weakens. This is compounded by lifestyle habits that accelerate oxidative stress, such as smoking, poor diet, and lack of exercise. Every time oxidative damage affects blood vessels, nitric oxide signaling becomes less efficient, creating a vicious cycle where arteries grow stiffer and sexual performance declines. This explains why erectile issues often show up years before more serious cardiovascular problems. Because the reduction in nitric oxide is one of the earliest indicators that circulation is in trouble. Men who pay attention to this signal and address it directly not only restore sexual performance, but also safeguard their heart and overall vascular health in the process. Supporting nitric oxide levels doesn't have to mean relying on medication. Natural strategies exist, and when combined with rituals like your morning coffee, they can become incredibly effective. Beetroot powder, spinach, arugula, and pomegranate juice are all packed with nitrates that the body converts into nitric oxide, enhancing vascular dilation. When these foods are paired with coffee's stimulant effect, the result is a surge of blood flow that supports firmer, longer-lasting erections. Supplements like L-citrulline often outperform L-arginine because they bypass digestive breakdown and more reliably boost nitric oxide levels. By combining these strategies daily, men can recreate the biochemical environment they once had in their 20s, when nitric oxide production was at its peak. This approach doesn't mask the issue, it corrects it at the root. The beauty of nitric oxide is that it influences far more than erections. It keeps arteries flexible, lowers blood pressure, and improves oxygen delivery throughout the body. Athletes use nitric oxide boosters for better stamina and recovery, and men can use them to improve endurance both in the gym and in the bedroom. When nitric oxide levels are optimized, erections feel spontaneous again, confidence returns, and intimacy becomes more fulfilling. This molecule is nature's way of ensuring sexual vitality, and by understanding its role, men can stop blaming themselves and start nourishing their body's natural ability to perform. In many cases, the difference between frustration and fulfillment lies in whether nitric oxide is abundant or deficient, making it the most crucial factor to restore if a man wants erections that truly feel like they did at 25. Your sexual health is never an isolated part of your body. It is directly connected to the state of your overall wellness, especially your cardiovascular system. Erections are often described as the body's check engine light, because they can reveal underlying issues with circulation long before more serious symptoms show up. When blood vessels are flexible, strong, and responsive, erections are naturally firm and reliable. But when arteries are clogged, inflamed, or weakened, the very first place men notice the change is in the bedroom. This isn't coincidence, it's biology. The arteries in the penis are smaller than those in the heart, so they show dysfunction earlier, making sexual performance a valuable warning sign about overall health. When a man experiences consistent erectile issues, it is often a reflection of deeper problems such as high blood pressure, insulin resistance, or elevated cholesterol. These conditions quietly damage the lining of the blood vessels and restrict the very circulation that erections depend on. For many men, what seems like a personal or embarrassing struggle is actually the body's way of signaling that cardiovascular health needs urgent attention. By addressing this connection honestly, men can shift from feeling ashamed to feeling empowered, understanding that every step taken to improve blood flow and overall wellness will also improve their sexual vitality. This is why physicians often recommend lifestyle changes for both heart health and erectile function. They are intertwined at every level. When you treat your sexual health as part of your whole health, the results are transformative. A nutrient-dense diet that supports vascular function, regular movement that keeps circulation strong, and stress management practices that regulate hormones all feed into better erections. For example, exercise not only strengthens the heart, but also raises nitric oxide production, which directly enhances pen-ile blood flow. Similarly, eating foods like leafy greens, berries, and omega-rich fish doesn't just improve cholesterol and blood pressure. It also creates the internal environment necessary for sexual confidence. By viewing the body as one interconnected system, men discover that every healthy choice multiplies benefits across energy, stamina, mood, and performance. Ignoring this connection, however, has the opposite effect. Poor habits like smoking, heavy drinking, processed foods, and chronic stress don't just harm the heart, they suffocate circulation everywhere, including the penis. Over time, this leads to weaker erections, lower energy, and a decline in overall vitality. Sexual dysfunction then becomes a symptom, but it also creates a cycle of frustration and self-doubt that makes the situation worse. Breaking free from this cycle requires acknowledging that intimacy and health are inseparable. When men take steps to heal their circulation, reduce inflammation, and support hormonal balance, they not only restore erections but also reclaim a stronger, more resilient version of themselves. This perspective transforms sexual health from an isolated concern into a central motivator for living a longer, healthier, and more passionate life. Testosterone is often glorified as the ultimate male hormone, and while it certainly plays a critical role in libido, muscle mass, and mood, it is not the only factor that determines sexual performance. Many men assume that if their testosterone levels are adequate, erections should naturally follow, but that belief oversimplifies the reality of male sexual function. Erections depend on an intricate interplay between hormones, nerve signals, and blood flow, and without proper circulation, testosterone alone cannot create the firmness or stamina that men desire. This explains why some men with normal or even high testosterone levels still struggle with performance, because the vascular system is the true foundation. Testosterone might spark desire, but blood flow delivers the performance. The vascular system is what allows testosterone's influence to fully manifest. When blood vessels are flexible and nitric oxide signaling is strong, the body can respond quickly to arousal, turning hormonal stimulation into a physical erection. But if arteries are stiff, clogged, or weakened, testosterone becomes like a key trying to open a rusty lock. It doesn't matter how strong the hormone is if the system cannot respond. This distinction is vital because it helps men understand that boosting testosterone through medication or supplements won't solve the issue if circulation isn't also optimized. It is the combination of healthy vascular function with balanced hormones that unlocks the kind of youthful erections most men want to experience again. Supporting this balance requires a holistic approach that doesn't chase testosterone alone, but nurtures the pathways that make erections possible. Exercise, particularly resistance training and high-intensity movements, not only raises testosterone levels naturally, but also strengthens circulation and endothelial function. Nutritional choices like zinc, rich foods, omega-3 fatty acids, and antioxidant-rich vegetables support both hormone production and vascular health simultaneously. Sleep is another pillar, as deep rest regulates testosterone release while also repairing blood vessels and lowering stress hormones that can interfere with performance. By aligning these habits, men can create an internal environment where testosterone and circulation work hand in hand, restoring strength in a sustainable way. It is also important to understand that focusing solely on testosterone often leads men to overlook silent killers of performance, like stress and inflammation. High cortisol levels from chronic stress directly lower testosterone, but they also constrict blood vessels, reducing the ability of the penis to engorge fully. Inflammation from poor diet or excess alcohol damages nitric oxide pathways, making even high testosterone levels useless for erections. This is why a man who eats poorly, sleeps little, and lives under stress can have hormone levels that look fine on paper but still experience disappointing results in the bedroom. By targeting circulation, reducing inflammation, and managing stress, testosterone can finally work at its full potential. In this way, sexual health becomes less about chasing one hormone and more about building a system where desire, blood flow, and stamina unite into powerful, reliable performance. One of the biggest truths about male sexual health is that consistency creates results, and this applies as much to erections as it does to any other aspect of wellness. A single supplement, a one-time workout, or one enhanced cup of coffee won't magically transform performance overnight. Erections are a reflection of your daily habits, your vascular health, and the way your body accumulates strength over time. When you build a ritual that consistently nourishes circulation, supports nitric oxide, and balances hormones, you create the conditions for reliable performance. What begins as subtle improvements, lightly stronger morning erections, a bit more stamina, more frequent desire, gradually compounds into a powerful transformation that can restore confidence and intimacy in lasting ways. Men often make the mistake of looking for quick fixes that promise immediate results, but those approaches rarely address the root causes of performance issues. Medications can provide temporary relief, but without building consistency in habits that support blood flow and vascular elasticity, the problem persists in the background. True sexual confidence comes from knowing that your body can respond naturally, without depending on artificial stimulation every time. This sense of security is built through repetition, through daily actions that improve circulation and hormonal balance, and through sticking to those habits long enough to see their cumulative effect. Consistency doesn't just strengthen erections, it strengthens the trust you have in your body's ability to perform. Everyday rituals can be powerful tools when practiced with intention. Starting your morning coffee with circulation, enhancing additions, engaging in short bursts of movement throughout the day, staying hydrated, and prioritizing nutrient-rich meals all layer on top of each other to improve vascular performance. The body thrives on rhythm and routine, and when those routines consistently deliver the right nutrients and signals, sexual health naturally rebounds. Just as an athlete conditions their body with training, a man conditions his erections by giving his body consistent inputs that build resilience. This doesn't mean radical changes are necessary. It means repeating small, smart actions that add up to powerful results. Consistency also reshapes confidence on a psychological level. When you know you are showing up for your body daily, you stop worrying about whether you'll be able to perform. This mental shift is significant because anxiety and self-doubt are some of the biggest killers of erections. Confidence is not just about physical ability. It's about trusting that your body will respond the way you want it to, when you want it to. Daily habits create that trust, and over time, the fear of underperforming is replaced by anticipation and certainty. This steady reinforcement builds a cycle of success where physical improvements fuel psychological confidence, and psychological confidence enhances physical performance. It is in this cycle, sustained by consistency, that men regain the type of sexual vitality that once felt effortless in their youth.